I am Maria Gambino, and I am a licensed psychotherapist for 15 years. I am the creator of the Adult Frequency Method, which is a 6-phase guide to build emotional maturity in adulthood. Now, the book I'm proposing to you is based on this method. And the reason we need this method in the world is because we are living in an unnamed epidemic of emotional immaturity, and no one is talking about it. We track a child's benchmarks like a first tooth when they learn to walk and talk, but for emotional development, there's nothing. Crickets. It's an omitted project. This is a developmental gap. And when you have the missing curriculum for emotional development in childhood, people need to improvise. So they patchwork together a nervous system. It carries them to adulthood as they learn to outsource their safety and their worth along the way. And in adulthood, they're pathologized because now they're anxious, reactive, and stuck because they're emotionally untrained. And they have diagnoses now. And then they feel bad. They're feeling like it's a personal failure rather than a systemic failure. And then there's more to cope with, that self-blame. And we're not equipped to handle emotional pain in the first place because we live in a pain-intolerant society. And we are not even aware of that. We don't know we're pain intolerant. When our child is crying in distress and we want to snap and make it stop, we don't know it's because our own nervous system is lacking capacity to be around that destabilizing experience. It doesn't feel safe for us to be around a screaming child because we weren't allowed to have those big emotions. And so it's hot potato pain where it's too hot to touch and we want to shut it down, avoid, bypass, distract. And this is what drives our reactivity. We don't even know that emotions are not feelings. We don't know that emotions are biological events in the body, no different than hunger and thirst. They require a response to complete. We don't know there's a natural cycle to them, beginning, middle, and end. And when those emotions are not allowed to complete in the body, they don't disappear. They stack, accumulate, store, charge our reactivity. And so this brings me to the half system trap, I call it, where we are trying to think our way out of a biological problem. We go to therapy and retreats and books and workshops, and we are cognitively over-reliant, trying to think our way out of the somatic charge that needs resolving in the body. We learned that the body keeps the score, but we haven't learned how much more there is to score, which brings me to my blind spot traumas. I have a list of 20 of them. Chapter 4 of the book goes into the developmental injuries in childhood, such as the first one that sets the stage for all the rest is the core distortion triad, which is emotional suppression, emotional invalidation, and emotional misattunement. When that becomes the air that we breathe in childhood, we don't realize that we're being developed in distortion, that our emotional development is stalling and distorting right from the start. And so some other blind spot traumas include corporal punishment, enmeshment, parentification. I have 20 of them, and the world needs to know about it because people don't realize what they're carrying in their nervous systems. They don't know that all of that pain from childhood that was normalized can count as something that's charging them and their behaviors. And so not only don't they know it, that it counts or that they're carrying it, they don't have the body-based tools to help get them out of it. I have mapped with precision what I call emotional purgatory, which is a holding pattern of pain and protection, because no one has taught us to handle our own emotional pain. We have improvised in our psyches an internal defense system. I call them the soldiers. We have a whole army that takes care of it every day. The perfectionist, the people pleaser, the boundary bender. And so what's missing really at this point is not that people need to heal, that people need to reduce symptoms. People need to mature their nervous systems. People need to be able to be with emotional pain in the body, to allow it to resolve at the nervous system biological level. They need a system for that, a self-applied system, which is what the adult frequency method is. I have zoomed out to name the cultural distortions that has shaped our emotional development, which is more than most models do by zooming out. And then I zoom in more than most models in surgical detail to show all the mechanisms that keep us stuck in emotional purgatory. My ideal reader is someone who is not highly traumatized, but the one who had a great childhood and is like, I don't know why I'm anxious and stuck. The world needs this. They need to be depathologized. I really hope to hear from you.